Citizen activism is responsible for the defeat of two really bad ideas. This is the CitizenLink report. Hi, I'm Kim Trobee. Well, when folks just like you took to the phones in Wisconsin and Idaho, elected officials took notice. Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker had campaigned on the idea that he would not expand gambling. But when it looked like he might be considering it, the Wisconsin Family Council went to work. I spoke with Julaine Appling about the issue.
Well, it was very important that the governor be reminded that he had made a promise when he was campaigning and then early in his first administration in 2011 that he would not expand gambling in our state. We passed a referendum about that. And so we started casting about what did we need to do to let the grassroots know, number one, that the governor had done this, and secondly, how could we get the governor's attention? So the first thing is we came up with a plan to call it, the whole campaign called Keep Your Promises. We built a website around that name. We launched a petition in which we asked the governor to remember that he had made that promise. He had also laid out 3 criteria saying, I won't pass or approve a casino in Wisconsin unless these 3 criteria were met. And by the way, that was a promise as well. And so we launched the petition drive, we launched the website, and then we hired a field director. And actually, I think we hired the field director first because we knew in-house we just didn't have the capacity. But she was really dedicated to making sure the petition got circulated, to managing the website. We ran radio ads. We ran radio ads in key markets. Milwaukee market was one of them because that was a very important area for this. And we ran those ads repeatedly during the whole year that he gave himself through numerous extensions to make this decision. And I do several radio programs myself. I host a Wednesday afternoon program for one of our statewide stations. And I also have radio commentaries that we do in radio and Wisconsin Family Minute. I took advantage of all of those to let people know that we were running this campaign and that they needed to call the governor. The number one message was call the governor, sign the petition, and then send it on to your friends. Another thing, though, Kim, that we did is we utilized our church network. We have a director of church relations, and we worked with him to be able to get the petition to the churches. We did a church bulletin insert on that. We just wanted everybody to understand gambling is not a victimless entertainment. And if the governor were going to approve this new casino, we had to be prepared for what this was going to mean to Wisconsin families. And that was a message we kept out there was another casino is not good for Wisconsin's best resource, her families. So we did Facebook. We did a lot of Facebook, pushed a lot of ads out. We utilized Twitter. We had to keep people apprised of this. So, really we ran a full-fledged campaign for a better part of a year. Just doing this constant drumbeat. Don't do this.
And tell me, what was the outcome of that campaign?
Well, I'm very happy to report that the governor a week ago, this past Friday, announced that he was not going to approve this new casino. Now, it's important to understand that in the way that the BIA, the Bureau of Indian Affairs at the federal level works, in this particular situation, the governor had every right to either approve or not approve, and that's the final word. And so he announced that he wasn't going to do it. There were a lot of things going on. Decision making is never simple, and we know that what we did played into what the governor was thinking about and how he was thinking about it. He didn't tell people he did this because of the bad effect that this would have on families. The bottom line, though, Kim, is he said no. And whatever he stated as a reason as a potential presidential candidate in 2016, I don't really care. We won. And more importantly, the state of Wisconsin won and our families won because we won't have another casino adding to creating situations where families are broken up, bruised and battered from all of this.
Julaine, we get so many people because we ask them to be active in their government, and we hear so many people saying, what I do just doesn't matter. But this is an instance where people really did speak up and it mattered. Tell us a little bit about why that's so important.
Well, look, the grassroots votes. That's the voice that people like the governor or president even, or, any elected official pays attention to. As much as I would like to believe they're about the next generation, not the next election, What I know is they're about the next generation until the next election. and so when the grassroots weighs in, it sends a powerful message. First of all, the people are paying attention. I think sometimes these folks think they live in a bubble and that nobody's watching what they do. And the truth is, with groups like ours out here, we can get the message to places that maybe the governor can't. And when you start rallying the troops, and by the way, we did robocalls, a whole series of robocalls with surveys, and then we did patch through calls to the governor's office. And when that phone rings and rings and rings and rings, suddenly you break through the fog and it says, oh, people are paying attention and we need to listen, because not everybody is saying this is a good thing. And you cannot ever underestimate or overestimate the power of citizen involvement. It's multiplied power of one. It's fantastic.
What's next for the Wisconsin Family Policy Council?
Well, we hope not another casino issue, but sadly, there's another casino issue right on the horizon for us. Mostly what we're doing this session is we are getting all set up for a new legislative session that began on the 5th of January. We've got a lot on our plate, and most importantly is securing the right of people in our state to live and to have their businesses according to their individual conscience rights and religious freedom.
In Idaho, a dangerous sexual orientation and gender identity bill was being considered in a House committee. Well, CitizenLink partnered with Cornerstone Family Council and asked constituents to contact their elected officials. Julie Lindy talked to me about the results.
Sexual orientation and gender identity laws add to the Human Rights Code those two phrases so that gender identity and sexual orientation is protected in the areas of housing, employment, and public accommodation.
Now, when it comes to Idaho's, why was it important that we not allow that to become part of law in the state?
There are so many reasons, Kim. First of all, gender identity and sexual orientation are not even defined. And if you look at the American Psychological Association, they say that those terms are on a continuum. And right now, Facebook has 50 to 71 different identities. So because gender identity is a self-identity, it is something that citizens really can't tell from one person to the next what the gender identity is if it's protected. So if someone is hiring someone for a job, they may not know that that person may be gay or lesbian, and they may choose a better person for the job. But the gay or lesbian person would say, you didn't hire me because of my sexual orientation, and then haul them into court. And so it costs the businesses a lot of money. It takes away their freedom of association. It takes away their rights as businesses. And it creates a sue first, ask questions later mentality.
Now, Cornerstone Family Council worked with CitizenLink on this particular bill, and we looked at several members there in the State House in Idaho. Tell me what the outcome was of that.
Our sexual orientation and gender identity bill failed in committee, which is exactly what we wanted, and CitizenLink was a great help to that. One of the legislators said that his phone voicemail at home and at work and his email were just packed. He said his phone messages were going 9-1 against the bill. And that's because citizens stepped up and took stewardship of Idaho. This bill put women and children at risk in bathrooms. This bill put landlords at risk. It was just a very, very ill-conceived idea that created a special class, and the citizens spoke up.
So many people say what I do just doesn't matter when it comes to my lawmakers, but this really proved otherwise, huh?
Oh, absolutely. It proved otherwise. The lawmakers that knew that this was a bad bill were thrilled that people called them and sent emails so that they could vote the right way. They would have voted the right way, many of them anyhow, but what happens is when you're only 17 members on a committee, that means there's only 17 people in the state that are deciding up or down for this. So the target on them gets really big. And if we back them up, if we say we're with you, if we speak up and we say we need you to vote the right way on this, and then thank them afterwards when they do, it's huge. It goes such a long ways to promoting family and values in Idaho.
So CitizenLink loves working with you guys at Cornerstone Family Council. Tell me what else is up next for 2015.
Well, we're going to be working on a telemed abortion bill. And we're partnering with Right to Life of Idaho and Idaho Chooses Life on that. And then we're also just trying to shore up the base in terms of this piece of legislation, because the proponents of the sexual orientation gender identity bill have indicated that they want to try to redo something this year. And we want to make sure that nobody gets put through this mess again. This was a very difficult couple of weeks, and we are just praising God that it came out right.
Because of your citizen activism, family values were protected in these 2 states. Together with our 38 associated family policy councils, we're having an impact on culture. Our thanks to Julie Lindy and Julaine Appling for talking with us. And thanks to all of you who have taken the time to write us with your thoughts and encouragement. You know, you can always reach us at mail@citizenlink.com. Please continue to pray for our nation and for our elected officials. And remember, stand tall and be heard.